Welcome to a Caveman ROM workout. Caveman ROM is flexibility under load, working on range of motion. All these exercises are going to be quite advanced, but we will provide alternatives and progressions as well. So what have we got? For the warm-up, we got a reverse lunge, lateral knee raise, Frankenstein kick, switch sides, times 6. Then we got half snatches with a light weight, 12 each side. We repeat all that 3 times. Then we spent a few minutes on the joints, on lateral flexion and rotation of the spine, because there'll be a lot of work done with rotation and flexion of the spine, which is all very beneficial, but you just need to make sure that you're taking the right progression doing all this. So you can't just jump in and you've never done this before, you've never worked on lateral flexion of the spine, you've never worked on rotation of the spine, all these things are new for you. Then you should look at the video, which we're also including, with alternatives and progressions. So make sure that you check that out.
There's always something for everybody, so when you look at these exercises, never think that, oh, I can't do that, because we always have regressions, progressions and scaling back. So there's always something for you.
The workout itself is a seated press into rotation and reach. Seated press into lateral flexion. A 90-90 half windmill into rotation. Repeat the same thing on the other side and 4 rounds of that. Then the Turkish get up, lunge style, into windmill, into row with rotation. Perform the same thing on the other side, 4 rounds of that. Everything you've done so far, you repeat that 3 times. And that is the workout. Of course, if you're just getting started, you should only do 2 rounds. And if you have a lot more time and you've been doing this workout for a while, you do 4 rounds. You can also up your weight as you get better with this. All these exercises might be new to you, so we will include a whole section where we talk about the technique. We break these exercises down step by step. Then we have a whole section on alternatives, progressions and regressions. Then we have a whole section that covers common mistakes, a whole section that covers common injuries with these type of things, what you need to look out for, what you might be feeling, how to avoid these things. So everything is there in all the videos that we publish for this workout. So this is a workout that works on range of motion, which means working on your flexibility and mobility as well. Mobility is how easy can you get to that end range? How easy can you get down into a windmill? How easy can you get down into a Turkish get-up, etc. So mobility requires flexibility, stability, strength, and mind-muscle connection, coordination, and a whole lot more. And that's what we work on in Caveman ROM. Caveman ROM is from Caveman Training, Caveman Range of Motion. There's a whole course on it as well. The most important thing here is that you leave your ego at the door. This is about focusing on stability, movement, going to your maximum range every time, and staying stable and perfecting that movement. It's not about going with heavy weight and fast reps. This is not about fast at all. It's all about slow, controlled movement. Own the movement.
Quality reps, guys. For that whole workout, I just used a very, very light weight, but you really just want to concentrate on really feeling that mind-muscle connection and doing quality reps.
So I say this a lot. You can easily get injured with these exercises if you do not pay attention to the right progressions, if you do not leave your ego at the door, if you're pushing yourself past your limits, So sometimes you need to push yourself past the limits when it comes to mental toughness, when it comes to giving up. But you should never push yourself past the limits of flexibility, or past the limits of strength, or past the limits of fatigue, as in not being able to keep the weight up or keep it stable. So push yourself past the limits is good when it comes to mental toughness, but not when it comes to caveman ROM or when it comes to flexibility under load. That's it for the introduction to this workout. The warm-up technique, we'll get Anna to demonstrate. Please take a step forward. She's going to lunge back with one side. That's your reverse lunge. Gently tapping the ground with that knee all the way from the front, back up. Now she's going to do a lateral knee raise to the right. As far out and back as you can and as high as you can. From there, straight into Frankenstein kick, which is the right leg into the left hand. Now she's going to repeat that on the other side. Gently come back, lunge, tap, normal position, knee raise, Frankenstein kick, and on the other side, reverse lunge. Knee raise, Frankenstein kick, and she would do that again on the other side. As you get warmer, you go a little bit faster. You start nice and slow so you understand what you're doing, and you warm up slowly as well. Then we do that 6 times. So you do right, left, and you do that 6 times. Then we do half snatches, 12 each side. I will quickly demonstrate, and we'll be using a light weight because it's still part of the warm-up. We're warming up the joints, the knees, the hips, the shoulders, and we're raising the temperature. So this is a 12, which is the same weight I'll be using in the warm-up, because I just want to stay safe and I just want to work on the joints, the movements, and raise the temperature. Okay, we clean the weight up. Start in racking position. From there, I'm going to drop it and I'm going to stay extended. I'm going to go from loose grip into a hook grip as the bell drops from here into backswing. Backswing, snatch it up, overhead, split second pause, drop it, elbow under the weight the whole time, drop into backswing, snatch it up, drop it, backswing, snatch it up. As I get warmer, I'm going to go faster. So that's the half snatch. You do 12 on one side, 12 on the other side. Have you got a quick tip on the half snatch, Anna?
Yeah, just be careful when you're bringing the kettlebell down, dropping it down from racking, not to cast it out.
That's it.
Yeah.
You want to protect your back. You don't want to throw that weight away from you. There's a lot more to be said about the snatch, and the snatch is quite complex. We will provide alternatives. Make sure you check out that section, alternatives and progressions. If you want to know more about the snatch and learn how to properly snatch, make sure you check out our courses as well and books. We repeat all that 3 times. Then we spent a couple of minutes on just rotating of the spine, lateral flexion of the spine, because there's a lot of work that we're going to be doing that involves that. That's it for the warm-up technique. The workout technique. The workout is a seated press into rotation and reach, seated press into lateral flexion, 90-90 half windmill into rotation with a light weight. Do the same thing on the other side, 4 rounds. Then Turkish get up into windmill, into row with rotation. Then other side, 4 rounds of that. And everything you just done, you repeat that 3 times. If you're just getting started, you will only do it 2 times, and you can even reduce the number of rounds per set. If you've been going for a while, make it 4 rounds and increase your weight if you really mastered all the movements. I'll demonstrate the seated press into rotation and reach. I'll use a 10 for this, and I'll probably start with a 10 in the workout as well, and I will start with an 8. As we get warm, I'll move to the 12, and I will move to the 10 if she feels like it, and maybe I'll even move to a 16, or maybe I'll stick with my 12. It all depends on how I feel. Never be ashamed to go down in your weight. It's always safety first. These movements are very advanced movements, and you should not go heavy straight away. So keep that in mind. A great way to assess yourself to see if you're ready for some of these workouts with a load with kettlebells is to test your thoracic rotation. So Anna's going to make sure that her hips remain pointing forward, no movement in them at all. She's going to reach with her right hand towards me as far as she can. She's going to look at it too. There we go. And that's the furthest she can go. Now that's all movement in her spine here. Now show us what it would look like if you would move that hip. And she can come a lot further, but she is using a hip. You don't want that. We just want to test how far you can go with the thoracic rotation. Next, lateral spinal flexion, thoracic spinal flexion. A great way to test that is with the cue, reach for your knee or bring your left elbow to your right hip without rotating the spine. So I'll do the first one. I'm going to bring this elbow towards my right hip and look up. That is all movement in the spine. Everything here is contracted. The other one, reach for your knee. Same thing. Don't rotate in the spine. This is your assessment. If you don't come far at all or it feels uncomfortable, definitely do not do this under load. If you have a little bit of range already there, start with a light weight until you have full range. I'll demonstrate the seated press into rotation and reach. My feet, my legs are in a V position, not out, because we don't want to be doing lateral flexion. We want to reach for our left toe and rotate at the spine as I'm pressing. So I'm going to curl this up. Then as I start pressing, I rotate at the spine and I reach for my left toes, both at the same time. Here we go. So feel everything work here. And you need to make sure that you have some flexibility and you're nice and warm, otherwise you will cramp up. From there, seated press into lateral flexion. So I'm going to press and think about bringing this left elbow to my right hip or left shoulder down towards my left hip. These are cues that you can use. Here we go. You want to do this nice and slow and focus on the movement and focus on keeping those legs straight, not coming up, keep them straight. Keep pulling the top of your pelvis forward. From here, we're going to give those hip flexors a little break and move into the 90-90 position. Our ankles are going to move to the right, so towards the kettlebell. Our knees are going to move away from the kettlebell. Here we go. That's the 90-90 position. I'm just going to adjust the position so you can see better. From here, I'm going to press up to perform the half windmill. The half windmill is where I'm just going to come into my elbow rather than all the way down with my armpit towards the ground. That's the half windmill. Then I'm going to come up and I'm going to come into rotation. Here we go. Press up. Now the half windmill. I am creating rotation at the thoracic spine. I'm creating stability in the shoulder by pulling down with the lat, making everything active around the scapula, locking out the triceps, looking at the weight to keep it stable. Now I'm going to press my left knee into the ground to come back up. Now I'm up. Now I'm going to create that rotation. And it will only be a little bit of movement here. I'm going to feel it right here in this hip as well. And back. Then down. Then bring my feet out. Back into the V position. I'm going to lower the weight. I'm going to curl it up with the other side. I'm going to perform the seated press into rotation and reach on this side. So as I start pressing, I create that rotation and start reaching there, looking at the weight. From there, I move into my seated press into lateral flexion, bringing this elbow to my left hip and looking at the weight, creating lateral flexion in the spine. From there, 90-90 position. Press it up. Half windmill. Elbow to the ground. Look at that weight. Press this right knee into the ground to come up. Create rotation. Back down into my V position. Now to come out into the 90-90 and into the 90-90, you need to lean back a bit. That will make it easier for you. So if you stay forward, it's going to be very hard to come in and out of this position. So lean back slightly, kick those legs out, and other side. So it's a great thing to test and work on this before your workout, to actually do 20 of these. Really working on that internal and external hip rotation. So once you've done this whole set of exercises on one side, you do it on the other side. You repeat that 4 rounds. Then you move into your Turkish get-up, windmill, row with rotation, which I'll demonstrate now. You got it, mama? You get your weight ready on one side. You roll into it, insert the hand, making sure that you got a 45-degree angle here. That's very important. If you're not sure about grips, download Master Kettlebell Grips. Bring it to your chest, press it up, come into position. Right leg straight, left knee bent, right arm 45 degrees, head down, and I'm going to come up by pressing my left elbow into the ground and my right elbow into the ground and my left foot into the ground. Then onto my hand. Now I'm sitting up and I'm going to bring my hips up. Then I'm going to bring that right leg under. Then I'm going to come up. Now I'm kneeling up Adjust that back leg, and I'm gonna push this leg into the ground. My left leg is gonna power me up. I'm gonna keep that weight up. I'm gonna adjust my stance for a windmill. Pushing my hip to the left, reach for my left toes, looking at the weight, or my right, depending on how flexible you are. Nice and slow, back up. From there, we're going to go into row with rotation. So rack it, drop it, hip hinge. Then I like to think about pulling this elbow to the ceiling and this elbow towards the ground while rotating at the spine. Looks like this. From here, hang clean it up or switch any way you want. I like to hang clean it up and switch side with a hang clean. From there, press it up, reverse lunge into finishing a Turkish get-up, but on my other side. Adjust the back leg, look at the weight, hand down, kick the leg out. Elbow, shoulder blades. I'm going to keep the weight on this side. So usually you switch at the bottom, we're switching at the top. Back up, hand, hips, knee under, come up, adjust the foot, come up, adjust the feet for the windmill, feet pointing away that way, looking at the weight, hips that way. All nice and slow and controlled. Full extension. Drop it into rack. Drop it into hang. Hip hinge, static. Row with rotation. Let it hang. Up. Clean it up. Switch. So now that my left and right, that would be 1 round. We are doing 4 rounds of that. So again, I would press it up. Now I would go down, finish my Turkish get-up on my other side. Nice and controlled. Do not flop down. And this would be my 3rd rep. Back up. Adjust the feet for the windmill. Drop it into rack. Drop it into hang, row with rotation, hang clean and switch. That's 3 reps. If I finish this side, that would be 4 reps, which is 2 rounds. We're doing 4 rounds. I'm not going to finish this one. There's enough details here so that you can learn it step by step. Back down. Then we go back and repeat everything. So you do your seated press into rotation, seated press into lateral flexion, 90-90 half windmill into rotation, and work your way through it all again. Finishing 3 rounds of that. All this is pretty complex and advanced, but make sure that you check out the alternatives and progressions, because there's always something in it that you can adjust. You can do it without weight, or you can change the exercise, etc. It's all there in the other section, alternatives and progressions. Alternatives and progressions. This is the section that you want to look at if you looked at the exercises and think to yourself, that is a bit advanced. Or you've done some of the assessments that we showed you before and you realize that you're not ready for some of this. So let's go through this step by step. The warm-up, reverse lunge. Anybody should be able to do reverse lunge. Lateral knee raise is fine. Frankenstein kicks is fine. Just don't come so high, and you can keep your knee bent if you're not very flexible. Then the half snatches, and I will demonstrate a clean and push press. If you can't snatch yet, then the alternative would be a clean and push press. Here she goes. Rack it. Here we go. Now drop it into a backswing, clean it up with a swing. There we go. Push press. Knees forward and back, push it up, press it out. Rack it, backswing, clean it, push press. That will be your progression to a half snatch. The push press is just quickly dipping the knees forward and pulling them back, pushing that weight up with your legs and then pressing out. That's the push press. All right, alternative for the seated press into rotation and reach. Anna's gonna come down, V position with her legs, and she's just gonna do body weight. So she's gonna bring that arm up, the right arm up, and she's gonna reach with her left to her left toes and looking at the right hand. That's all, and back up, nice and slow. That would be your alternative. You could do 2 of those if you're not doing it with weight. So let's see 2 times the seated press into rotation and reach without weight. Here we go. Arm up, reach, full neutral seated position, back to the chest with the arm, reach back up, press it up, and reach for the toes. You would do 2 of those if you're just working with body weight. Okay, rack it. Then seated press into lateral flexion. Here we go. Again, you would do this without weight. So racked position on the right. As she's going to press her right arm overhead, she is coming into lateral flexion with her spine. There we go. Back into racking. You would do that 2 times. There we go. Nice and slow, really working on that range of motion. So that would be alternative. Then she stays there and she goes into 90-90 position. There we go. She's going to press that right arm overhead and she's going to come into a half windmill. That's it. Looking at this hand. Watch where this elbow is, near the left knee. So not next to it, not past it, near the left knee. She's going to press that left knee into the ground to come up. There we go. And she's going to do that again. Press it. There we go. And back up. You would do the same thing on the other side. So this is your progression. Start with body weight only. The same thing goes for the Turkish get-up. Anna's going to do a Turkish get-up with just body weight. She's going to lay down. Imagine that the weight is on her right side. She's going to roll into it. And she's going to roll back. It's always good to just act like you're working with weight. So even though there is none, just do the movement. Safety roll into the weight, back into racking. Now she's going to set it up like she would have real weight in there. She's going to press up the right arm. She's going to bring the left leg down, left arm out, about 45 degrees between her hip and her arm. Now she's going to come onto that left elbow while pressing that right foot into the ground. There we go. Now she's going to come onto the hand. And she's really going to keep this weight up like there's something there. So she does not want to come up where the hand or arm is here. It really has to stay above her shoulder. Now she's going to raise her hips. What she's going to do now is She's going to pull that ankle towards her other ankle and knee comes to the ground. She's going to slide the shin across the ground to where the knee is under the hips. Here she goes. All in one movement. That's it. Now she's going to come onto the knee, kneeling. She's going to adjust the back foot if she needs to. Now she's going to come up onto the right foot, stand up. She's going to adjust the feet. She's going to step back a bit so that she's in camera. Her toes are pointing to the left, away from the arm that's raised. She's going to look at the arm as she comes down and reaches for her right foot or left foot, depending on her flexibility. There we go, and back up. So that again is your alternative for the windmill. The same movement, but without weight. Row with rotation. So she's just going to come down here into a hanging position, and she's going to create rotation at the spine. Bringing this elbow down to the ground and this one to the ceiling. There we go, and back up. And she's going to act like she has a kettlebell, so she's going to bring that right kettlebell up into racking, press it up. She's going to lunge back with her left, always the opposite side of where the weight is. Then she's going to adjust her back leg, and she's going to come down with the hand. She's going to switch out that leg, kick it out, hips down to the ground, elbow to the ground, shoulder blades to the ground. She's going to keep that arm up, and she would come back up again and repeat the whole sequence. You can relax. So that is your start, your starting progression. Start without weight. Slowly you can start adding things to it. You can start doing your seated press with a weight and remove the rotation for now. So Anna's going to sit down. I will give her a weight. She's going to curl it up and press it up, and that would be your next progression. Back down, and she would do the same thing again. Back down. She is going to keep it racked, and now she would go into a 90-90 position. That's all she would do there, nothing else. That would be your whole set. She's going to kick those legs back out into a V position and put the weight down. Curl it up with the other arm. Press it up. Rack it. Press it up. Rack it. 90-90 position. And back into V position with the legs. Weight down. That would be the whole set. So that would be your next step. All right, we're going to curl it up with the right arm. Press it and rotate at the spine to your right. That is your next progression. Back into neutral, rack it. Press it, and as you're pressing, come into lateral flexion of the spine, so you're bending to the side. There we go, and back down. That would be your next step. From here, 90-90, press it up, and she is just going to reach for the hand, with the hand to the ground. Look at the weight, that's it, back up. Rack it, V position, weight down, swap arms, curl it with the other arm, press it, thoracic rotation, nice and slow and controlled, back into racking, press it and lateral flexion at the same time, rack it, 90-90 position, That's alright, you get confused sometimes. Press it. All she's going to do is reach for the ground with her right hand and rotate slightly at the spine. That's it. Back up. Racket, V position. That whole thing is your new progression from there. After that, you are ready to do everything as it is programmed. You can come up. The same progression applies to the Turkish get up, windmill and row with rotation. You just break it down into steps. And I will demonstrate. She's going to come down. She's going to roll into the weight and bring it to her chest. She's going to press it up, adjust her feet, and she's going to come onto the elbow, onto the hand, and she's going to come down nice and slow onto the elbow, onto the shoulder blades. So that would be your first step to the Turkish get up. You would repeat that several times. You would do 3 on one side instead of one whole Turkish get up. And then you would come up. Let's come on up. Clean your weight up any way you want. Press it up. Adjust for the windmill. And she is just going to come into half a windmill where the elbow is going to rest on the thigh and her knee is going to be bent. Back up. And rack it. Drop it. Hip hinge. And row. Okay. Back up. And put the weight down. So 3 half Turkish get up or even a quarter Turkish get up, whatever you want to call it. It's just the first part of the Turkish get up. Coming into the elbow, coming onto the hand. That's all you're doing. And you can just keep building up your Turkish get up like that. Step by step until you're doing the full Turkish get up. Same thing with the windmill. You're going to remove the elbow resting on the thigh. You can remove the knee being bent and just have a straight leg into the full windmill. Then you add your rotation to your row eventually. So this is your whole build up. That's it for the alternatives and progressions. Common mistakes and injuries. Let's look at some of the exercises step by step. We'll start with the reverse lunge. We'll get Anna facing the camera side on. And she is going to lunge back, but not far enough with her knees. Her knee is going to stay close to her front ankle. Let's have a look. Side on, we should be seeing a triangle between it. There we go. So another thing that happens is that knee comes closer to the ankle, the heel comes off the ground. Lots of pressure here. So a common injury that we could see is pain here or worse in the patella around here. So bring that knee back, further back, back. Now we've got a rectangle shape here, which is what we want to see. This shin is vertical, that knee is under the hip, so we do not want to see a triangle. The other mistake is that people use the back leg to come up and push up rather than the front leg. A lot of weight and pressure is on that back knee, and it's very hard on the knee here in this position. From here to here, you will feel it in your patella. All the muscles and tendons around there. So the lateral knee raise, the Frankenstein kicks, they're all pretty easy. You can't really go wrong with that. The half snatches, some of the things that could go wrong, common mistakes, is because we are doing a swinging half snatch. People could do a hang snatch, which means the weight is going down and up and they're squatting. We are going to use a hip hinge movement for this half snatch. They're not letting go of the weight when they're snatching it up and really holding on tightly. So let's get Anna to hold on to this. Here we go, and I'll come to the other side. Now let it hang. Now come into a hip hinge. So that weight is coming up, stand up, and she's holding on to that handle really tight and not letting go, and then the weight goes here and then it falls down. So it will bruise your forearm. What needs to happen is she's going to backswing up. Here she's going to let go of the weight because that weight is traveling up anyway. Insert a hand and press out. And that weight turns around here this way. So here, right here, bang, bang. Rather than up here and banging on the forearm and no good hand insert. So this is a broken wrist grip. She was holding on too tight to the handle. So you got to let go. Let's have a good insert. There we go. Right here. Nice, good lockout. Now she's going to rack it. And she's going to come side on towards the camera. Next thing that people do is casting it out. So I'm going to hold on to it and show you what it looks like. And she's going to break at the hips straight away as she's casting it out right here. Now this position compromises the lower back. This weight is going here, pulling, and right here she would feel that, and she could feel it in the shoulder too, and the elbow flexors if she really drastically casts that weight out. Bang. Then she could come very low as well to the ground. And that's another thing that you don't want. All right, you can put that down. So those are some common mistakes with the snatch that we see. The injuries that will be common will be lower back around here, shoulder, elbow from jerking. So that weight is going bang, it's jerking here, and bruising on the forearm by not letting go of the handle.
As well as calluses.
As well as calluses, because there's a lot of friction in your hand. That's right. Seated press into rotation and reach. Common injuries will be in the QL. That's your quadratus lumborum. Attached to your pelvis, attached to your lumbar, attached to your 12th rib. It is responsible, partly responsible for lateral flexion right here, which is what happens after you rotate and then reach. If you go too far and you're pulling yourself too far or that weight is too heavy, you are going to damage your QL. Especially if you're not conditioned, you can quickly damage it and get injured. So make sure that you follow the progressions there. Next thing, the 90-90 half windmill into rotation. So I don't need a weight, but a common injury will be in the knees. What is happening? You need good external hip rotation. If you don't have that, that knee will stay here, but there's going to be pressure pushing down and there's torque on the knee. So basically one part is going the other way while the other part of your leg is going that way. If you don't have that good external hip rotation, that's what's happening, and you're feeling that in your knee because that knee is just a hinge joint. Flexion, extension, no rotation. Rotation happens in the hip. So if you don't have that, you will feel it in your knee. So work on flexibility without the weight, and push down here, adjust where the ankle is, and make sure that you remove that pressure on your knee. Everything else that we spoke about in regards to lateral flexion and rotation will transfer to this exercise as well. So the most common thing is injuring the knee here in the 90-90. So it's not the exercise that's bad, it's the progression that you're skipping. You're not working on your flexibility. Maybe you didn't warm up properly, maybe you're just not getting the right position, maybe you just don't have that range yet. Common mistake in the Turkish get-up is using momentum to get up and coming forward rather than coming onto this elbow. A thing that will make this clear is this leg usually comes off the ground. So I'm using this here, right here, up. I'm flexing everything here and then coming down, which is like pulling me up. But that's not what you want. The Turkish get-up is also a workout for your lats, right here, everything around your scapula too. Pressing into the ground, coming up, lowering yourself. So you got to break the TGU down. If you can't do this without weight, right here, then you can't expect to do it with weight. Next thing is here, that shin needs to slide. A lot of people don't make that external rotation of the hip, and then they go and pull this back and try and get it under the hip. You are going to feel it in your obliques, everything here. It is not going to work. So work on this. Break it down. Another thing is looking at the weight the whole time. At a certain point, you should stop looking at the weight. Right here, look ahead. Don't keep looking at it. No more. Once you're on your knees, look ahead. A common mistake or a common injury with the windmill is in the shoulders. If I can get Anna right here. There we go. Now she is gonna come into the windmill without thoracic rotation. So she's not rotating at the spine. The shoulder is coming forward right here. All that weight is coming forward, and the shoulder needs to come into more flexion to hold that weight up. So she's going to damage her delt right here. Now let's show what thoracic rotation adds. Now it's straight above her shoulder, this arm, the weight. Let's show it one more time without thoracic rotation. That weight moves away from above the shoulder. The delt is going to be doing all that work. Come back up and up. So, a common injury, common mistake is doing the windmill deep without having the flexibility in your spine for rotation. That's it for common mistakes and injuries. There's obviously a whole lot more that can be said here, and there's a whole lot more to cover. But again, we try to only cover some of the common things in each video. The warm-up, the follow-along warm-up. We're going to get started in 10 seconds with reverse lunge, lateral knee raise, Frankenstein kick on one side, then the other side. That's one round. We're going to do 6 of those, and then half snatches, 12 each side. 3, 2, 1. Right side back. Reverse lunge. lateral knee raise, Frankenstein kick. That's left side back, up, lateral knee raise, Frankenstein kick.
1.
Right side back, lateral knee raise, kick, left side back, lateral knee raise, kick,
2.
right side back, lateral knee raise, kick, left side back, lateral knee raise, kick,
3.
right side back, lateral knee raise, kick, left side back, lateral knee raise, kick,
4.
right side back, lateral knee raise, kick, left side back, lateral knee raise, kick,
5.
last one, right side back, lateral knee raise, kick, left side back, lateral knee raise, kick. Get your bell, 12 snatches on your right, 12 on your left, here we go. Snatch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, switch sides and Anna counts.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, last one.
Weight down and reverse lunge, right side. Raise, kick, left side, raise, kick,
1,
right, raise, kick, left, raise, kick,
2,
right, raise, kick, left, raise, kick,
3,
right, raise, kick, left, raise, kick,
4,
right, raise, kick, left, raise, kick,
5,
right, raise, kick, left, raise, kick,
snatch.
snatch. Ready? And go. 1, 2, let's pick it up. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and switch and Anna counts.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2 more, 1 and 2, bell down, last round, reverse lunge, right,
Kick, left, raise, kick,
1,
right, raise, kick, left, raise, kick,
2,
right, raise, kick, left, raise, kick,
3,
right, raise, kick, left, raise, kick,
4,
right, raise, kick, left, raise, kick,
5,
right, raise, kick, left, raise, kick,
snatch.
and snatch. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, switch and Anna.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, last one. Down.
Bell down, let's work on the joints. Thoracic rotation, reach for your left, reach for your right. Now movement in the hips, left, right, left, right, and stop, lateral flexion. Reach for your knee, reach for your knee, same side, 2 more, last one, reach for your other knee, 4, 3, 2, 1, down to the ground, feet straight. We're going to come into 90-90, knees to the left, feet to the right. Back out, other side. Back out, other side. Out. 2 more. 1 more. Back up. Rotation of the spine. Reach for your left. Right. Left. Right. Left. Right. Last one. Left. Right. Lateral flexion. 4, 3, 2, 1. Other side. 4, 3, 2, 1. Down for 90-90. Feet straight, knees to the left, feet to the right. Other side. That's 1. 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. Last one, and finish. If you feel like your hips are still not warm, your shoulders are still not warm, your spine is still not warm, do another 2 or 3 rounds. It's always best to invest more time in your warm-up. That's it for the warm-up. See you in the workout. Let's get stuck into the workout. In 10 seconds, seated press into rotation and reach, seated press into lateral flexion, 90-90 half windmill into rotation. Perform on one side, then the other, 4 rounds. Let's get down. Light weight, start with a light weight. V position with your legs, bell in the middle. Let's get ready to curl on your right. Curl it, and we're going to press and rotate and reach for our left feet. Go. Up and drop it into rack. Now we're going to press and lateral flexion. Go. Up. Rack it. 90-90. Press it. Half windmill. Up. Rotation. Keep the weight up. Rotate to your left. Neutral. Rack it. V position with the legs. Lower the weight. Curl it with the other side. And reach and rotation. Up. Rack it. Press and lateral flexion. Down. 90-90. Press. Half windmill. Up. Keep it up and rotate to your right. Neutral, rack it. V position. Down to the ground. What is that?
1.
Thank you. Curl it. And press and rotate. And reach. Down. Press and lateral flexion. Down. 90-90. Press. Windmill. Half. Up. Keep it up. Rotate to your left. Neutral. Rack it. V position. Down to the ground. Curl it with your other side. Straight into it. Press with rotation and reach. Down. Lateral. And press. Down. And 90-90. And press. And windmill. Up. Keep it up. Rotate to your right. Neutral. Rack it. V position. Down. That's 2. We got 2 to go. Curl it. Straight into it. Press and rotation. Down. Lateral. Press. Down. 90-90. Press. Half windmill. Up. Rotate to your left. Neutral. Rack it. V position. Curl it with your other arm. Press it straight into it. Rotation. Down. Lateral. Down. 90-90. Press. Windmill. Half. Up. Rotate to your right. Neutral. Rack it. V. Last round. Curl it. Press and rotate and reach. Down. Lateral. Down. 90-90. Press. Windmill. Half. Up. Rotate to your left. Neutral. Rack it. V position. Curl it. with your other arm, and press and rotate and reach, down, lateral, down, 90-90, press, windmill, up, rotate to your right, racket, V, return to the ground, shake it out. Next, TGU, windmill, row with rotation. Let's start with the weight on our right side. Roll into it. Ready? And press it up. Left leg straight. Elbow. Hand. Hips. Knee. Look ahead. Get up. Windmill. Up. Racket. Hang. Hinge. Row and rotate. Hang. Stand up. Hang clean. And switch. Hang clean. And press. Right side. Back. Hand down, switch out, hips down, elbow, shoulder blades, keep it up, elbow, hand, hips, knee, look ahead, stand up, windmill, up, racket, hang, hinge, row and rotate, up and switch any way you want, hang clean. That was one. Press it up, left leg back, hand to the ground, switch out, hips down, elbow, shoulder blades, keep it up, elbow, hand, hips high, knee under, look ahead, come up, windmill, racket, hang, hinge, roll and rotate, stand up, switch any way you want, hang clean, press it up, right side back, hand down, switch out, hips down, elbow, shoulder blades. That is two. Keep it up, elbow, hand, hips, knee under, look ahead, up, windmill, up, drop it into rack, hang, hinge, row, rotate, up, switch, clean, press, left leg back, hand down, hips down, elbow, shoulder blade, keep it up. What are we on?
3.
Elbow, hand, hips, elbow, knee under, look ahead, up, windmill, drop it, hang, row and rotate, up, switch, clean, press, right side back, switch out, hips down, elbow, shoulder blades, elbow, hand, hips, pull under, look ahead, stand up, windmill, up, drop it, hinge, row and rotate, stand up, switch sides, clean, press, left side back, hand down, switch out, hips down, elbow, shoulder blades, weight down, and that's 4 rounds. And we start from the beginning. Let's wipe the sweat. Two rounds to go. Let's get down. I'm going to move up with my weight. Still a light weight compared to what I can TGU or windmill, but that's not what this is about. All right, round 2. Seated press into rotation and reach. Here we go, down. Weight between your legs, V position. Let's curl it up. And press and rotation and reach. Up. Lateral flexion and press. Up. 90-90. Knees to the left. Press. Windmill. Half. Look at your weight. Back up. Rotate to your left. Racket. V position. Weight to the ground. That's half a round. Bring it up, press and rotate. Up, lateral flexion and press. Up, 90-90, knees to your right. Press, windmill. Up. Rotate to your right, neutral, rack, V position, down to the ground. That's 1. Right side, curl it, and rotate and press. Up, lateral, up, 90-90, knees to the left. Press, windmill, up, rotate to your left, neutral, racket, V position, down, that's 1.5, curl it, press and rotate, up, racket, lateral flexion and press. Up, 90-90, knees to your right. Press, windmill. Up, rotate to your right. Neutral, racket, V position. Return to the ground, that's 2. Now let's give it a few seconds for everybody to catch up. Okay, here we go. Hand insert, cool, feet straight, legs straight, reach and press. Up, racket, lateral flexion. Up, 90-90, knees to the left, press, windmill, up, rotate to your left, neutral, racket, V position, down, that's 2.5, curl it, and rotate and reach and press, up, racket, lateral and press, up, 90-90, press, and windmill, up, rotate to your right, neutral, racket, V, that's 3, 1 to go. Curl it, reach and press, up, racket, lateral, up, 90-90, knees to your left, press, windmill, up, rotate to your left, neutral, racket, V, return to the ground, curl with the other side, press and reach, up, racket, and lateral flexion, up, racket, 90-90, press it, windmill, up, rotate to your right, neutral, racket, V, and that's it. That's 4. Now we're into TGU, windmill, row with rotation. I'm going to use a 16 for that. Put it on our right. Down to the ground. Roll into it. Good hand insert. Bring it to the chest. Left leg straight. Press it up. Here we go. Elbow. Hand. Hips. Under. Look ahead. Up. Keep it up. Windmill. Up. Racket. Row it and rotate. Up. Switch. Clean. Press. That was half. Right side back. Hand. Switch out. Hips down. Elbow. Shoulder blades. Keep it up. Elbow. Hand. Hips. Under. Look ahead. Up. Windmill. Up. Racket. Hang it. Row it. Up. Switch. That's 1. Clean. Press. Left side back. Keep it up. Elbow. Hand. Hips. Up. Windmill. Racket. Drop it. Hang it. Row it. Rotate. Up. Switch it. That's 1.5. Clean it. Press it. Right side back. Switch out. Hips down. Elbow. Shoulder blades. Keep it up. Elbow. Hand. Hips. Under. Look ahead. Up. Windmill. Up. Drop it. Hang it. Row it. Up. Switch. Clean it. Press it. That's 2. Reverse lunge with your left. Switch out. Hips. Elbow. Shoulder blade. Keep it up. Back onto the elbow. Hands. Hips. Look ahead. Up. Windmill. Up. Rack it. Hang it. Row it. Up. Switch it. Clean it. Press it. That's 2.5. Right side back. Hips, elbow, shoulder blades. Keep it up. Elbow, hand, hips. Look ahead. Up, windmill. Up, rack it, hang it, row it. Up, switch, clean it, press it. Left side back. Keep it up. Elbow, hand, hips, look ahead, windmill, up, rack, drop, hang, row, up, switch, clean, press, last one. Right side down, hand down, switch out, elbow, shoulder blades, and down. Have a little break. And then we're on to our last round of everything. I'm going to go back to my 12 for the seated presses. Let's do this. Last rounds. Down to the ground. V position with the legs. Pull the top of your pelvis forward. Good hand insert. Curl it. And go into your press. Reach. Up. Rack it. Lateral. Up. Rack it. Knees to the left. Press it, and windmill, up, rotate to your left, neutral, rack it, V position, return to the ground, curl it, and press and reach, up, lateral, up, racket, 90-90, press it, windmill, up, rotate to your right, neutral, racket, V, that's 1. All right, V, curl, press and reach, up, lateral, up, racket, knees to the left, press it, windmill, up, rotate to your left, neutral, racket, V, get to the ground, curl it, reach, up, racket, lateral, down, 90-90, press it, windmill, up, rotate to your right, neutral, racket, V, get to the ground, that's 2 to go. Just giving everybody time to catch up and getting a break myself, of course. All right, V, curl it, reach and press, up, racket, lateral and press, up, racket, knees to the left, press it, windmill, up, rotate to your left, racket, V, get to the ground, curl it, rotate and reach, up, racket, lateral, up, knees to the right, press, windmill, up, rotate to your right, neutral, racket, V. That's 3, last round coming up. You should really feel everything in your core. Even though you're working with a light weight, you should feel this. All right, here we go. V, curl, press and reach, up, lateral, up, 90-90, press, windmill, up, racket, oh, rotate, I skipped one, rotate to your left, racket, neutral, get to the ground, last side, curl it, press and reach, up, racket, lateral press, up, racket, 90-90, press, windmill, up, rotate to your right, neutral, racket, V, and that's it. Now we're into TGU windmill row with rotation. Let's do this. I'm gonna go back to my 16 for this. down to the ground, weight on your right, roll into it, hand insert, bring it to your chest, press it, here we go, elbow, hand, hips, under, look ahead, and get up, windmill, rack it, drop it, roll and rotate, up, switch, hang clean, that's half, press it, reverse lunge, hips down, elbow, shoulder blades, keep it up, elbow, hand, hips, look ahead, stand up, windmill, rack it, drop it, roll and rotate, up, switch, clean, press, reverse lunge, elbow, shoulder blades, keep it up, elbow, hand, hips, look ahead, up, windmill, rack it, drop it, roll it, rotate, up, switch, press it, reverse lunge, elbow, shoulder blades, keep it up, elbow, hand, hips, look ahead, up, windmill, up, rack it, drop it, roll it, rotate, up, that's 2, switch, clean, press, keep it up, elbow, hand, hips, look ahead, windmill, rack it, drop it, roll it, up, switch, that's 2.5, clean it, press it, keep it up, elbow, hand, hips, look ahead, up, windmill, drop it, roll it, up, that's 3.
Last one.
Switch, clean, press. Keep it up. Elbow, hand, hips, knee, up, windmill, drop it, row it, up, switch,
Awesome.
hand clean, press it, switch out, and put it down. I know we missed half a round there every time, but it's good enough. We made a boo-boo. I made a boo-boo. So, if you enjoy workouts like this, like cardio, flexibility, strength, endurance, and power, and the list goes on, every week we bring out a new workout, completely fresh. We also got courses, and I've got a course on the windmill, master the windmill, and variations. It's like, how many hours is there of video content?
3.5 hours of video content, yeah.
3.5 hours of video content, so check that out if you want to master the windmill. It's progressions, body weight, quarter, half, and so on, and variations. Then we got master the get up as well. Lots of different get up variations. So that's a whole course on just the get up. Trust me, you're gonna learn so much about the get up, and it's beneficial to your life. Then there's master the squat. Master the squat, it's just body weight and some kettlebell stuff as well. But again, there's a lot to learn there. You should master the squat before you do anything really. Then we've got snatch physics, a course on snatching with snatch variations. Everything that you see here, we've got courses and we got books on it. There's CAVEMANROM course that goes into all the amazing exercises like you've seen today, but a whole lot more. And it explains why we're doing this and how you need to progress to it. So check that out too. And of course, if you just want fresh weekly workouts and you're not interested really in all the finer details, which is fine, then you can join the Caveman Inner Circle and you get your follow along workout, you do it, you post it, and we, Anna, myself and other trainers will comment and give you tips how to improve this part, how to progress to that. You could tell us like, hey, I can't do this exercise, what can I do? We'll give you hints and progressions as well. So you can post, you can ask, you can get motivation, and above all, you've got something to keep you accountable. So come and join us in the Caveman Inner Circle. See you there. The cooldown. We'll work on the hips, especially, and the glutes and the spine. So we'll start by coming into a upward dog. Hips to the ground, plank position, hips to the ground, squeeze your glutes. Look ahead. Try and get the range, the movement happening in your thoracic spine, so not your lumbar. That's why we're squeezing the glutes. From there, we're going to do the opposite and bring our butt up to the air. The downward dog, press into the ground. Head between your arms, keep pressing into the ground. Try and get those hips as high to the ceiling as possible. Plank position, right foot, right hand. We're going to pulse here. You should feel that in your hips. So pulsing, I'm dropping my hips to the ground and pulling them back up. That's the pulse. Now bring our right hand up to the ceiling, looking at it. Right hand down, right foot back into plank, left foot, left hand, pulse. Keep pulsing. Left hand up to the ceiling. Look at it. Hand down, left foot back into plank. Stay in the plank, right foot, left hand. Pigeon. So this is great for your 90-90. This is something you should do before and when you're not even working out, when you're sitting watching TV during the day. Do a few reps. Do a few reps after you wake up, before you go to bed, whatever. You don't always need to do this when you're working out. Alright, right foot back into plank, left foot, right hand. So this is external hip rotation. Press that knee into the ground, press that shin into the ground, sit back into it. We're going to give Anna some thought and think of the next exercise in 5 seconds.
Okay, come back into plank, guys. Okay, drop down to your knees. Alright, knees apart. Bring your big toes together at the back. I'm just going to crawl down into a child's pose, stretching the lower lumbar, opening the hips as well by bringing the knees apart. Walk the hands forward, keep your butt seated back on your heels as much as you can, and bring the forehead down to the ground. Good for stretching the chest, shoulders, hips, lower back. Just relax. Okay, now we're going to walk our arms over to the right. And we're going to feel a stretch in the left side of our back, which is the lat. Keep pushing your butt back to your heels as well. Okay, change sides, walk the hands over the other way, and you'll feel the same stretch on the other side. Okay, now from here, we're just going to come up onto our knees and our hands under shoulders. We're just going to stretch out the thoracic. We're going to hunch up, pull the belly button into the spine, bring that chin down to your chest. Really, really pull that belly button in. Now we're going to release it. We're going to arc the back and look up. And do 2 more times. Again, belly button in. Breathe. Exhale. 1 more time. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, now just sit back. Just sitting on your shins here. Sit back on your heels. Should be able to feel a nice stretch through your quads as well. Okay, so now we're going to actually come back a little bit further. We're going to stretch out the hip flexors from a different direction. Just come back to your hands. Fingers are facing behind you. Okay, now look up to the ceiling. Shoulders are back. Now, the next step for this one is, if you can stay here and you can't go any further, stay here. For those of you who are a little bit more advanced, a little bit more flexible, come to your elbows. You want to relax the thighs as much as you can, guys. Relax the glutes. It's very hard in this position if you haven't done it before. Okay, and the next stage after that is you can drop all the way down. Okay. Okay, slowly coming back up. All right, Taco.
And that's it for the cool down and stretching. You can of course repeat this 2 or 3 times. The more time you spend on it, the better.